Alright, what's up everybody? Rashamini with no eraser. Let's see. So we're going to be talking about how to build a automatic indoor farm that grows medicinally bioavailable medicinal herbs. A home pharmacy. Now this is all live, no editing, I ain't got time for that, but basically, here's my system, my R&D system, and it's growing arugula and basil. So there's some arugula microgreens, and some cool thing about this is what we're using to grow on. So, oh boy. Trying to figure out how to do this most economically. There's a couple ways to do it. This setup is the most economical. So these are $40 LEDs, $25 LEDs, 40 watts, two of them. And here I have as my soil replacement Coca-Core 10x20 flats. And then what I did was put window screening, fiberglass window screening cut out as a way to, I'm trying to reuse the flats. So I'm hoping I can rip out that screen and so I don't have to keep buying flats. We'll see if that works though. And down here I have more germinating. So if you can see, there's actually a discrepancy in water access, if you will, for the germination phase. But here, we got some good stuff growing, same basil. This is like going into a medical grade product for a sick friend. Down here, with my bell siphon back on, we have the more basils growing on that method, Coca-Core fiberglass, and then I have basils growing in net pots as individual, and then more arugula growing here. This is a direct seeding onto Coca-Core. So, good stuff. Rogue seeds, but everyone's fat and happy. Okay, and the best part is, super spicy. So, how do you make that? Let's talk about it. You need these different parts set up in the right way. It's a simple method to grow where you need a shelf that's flat and cheap and basic, easy to get off the internet. And then you need your trays. Up to 4. The bottom one can be your reservoir. So the cheap way to do it, pro DIY, is to use these 2 by 40 by 40 by 2 inch kind of garden trays that are used for packing dirt and packing these 10 by 20 flats. The 10 by 20 flat being the black rectangles that everything sits in. So 2 inch, and then you can get those X trays, 6 inch, 2 foot by 2 foot trays. Those allow you to do ebb and flow. So you can take in more oxygen, so you can put in more wattage, so you can get stronger bulbs. So these are all 2 inch on this side, and then instead of an extra tray being the reservoir, you have a 5 gallon bucket on this side. 5, and this is 10 gallon. So here on the DIY side, you can use 20 watt LED panels. Again, the parts list is all on stack.farm. On this side, you can use 150 watt. 150 watt, 300 watt LED panels. Untested. Okay? This research and development is needed. This is tested, it works great. Some of this is tested. The shelving, it doesn't matter. Plastic shelving, cut through it, go around it, it doesn't matter. And then you need a simple water pump. Submersible, takes water to the top. And then it cascades down. Right, this would go in there. Bada bing, bada boom. In there, 10 by 20 flats. So it's 10 inch, 20 inch, and then they go either 1 to 2 inches. Most of them. This is a terrible drawing. Let's see. Right, something like that. This is 10 inches, this is 20 inches. At the top, most of them curve in a little bit. On top of that, I should put this here. I put a, so those are the flats. If you're gonna grow net pots, if you're gonna grow head plants, you can put an insert in there so that they go in there and they just hang, and the bottom is like a mesh bottom. You can grow 8 by 4, 32, 64 plants per 2 foot by 2 foot tray. If you want to grow microgreens, this is roughly 2 feet. This is roughly 2 feet. Oops. Let's talk about the 2-inch version first. 2 inches. This is foot. You can fit 2 10 by 20 flats in there, but if you're growing microgreens, you have to, and you're growing on the, that's the only way I could get it to work well was to put the coco-coir mat directly in there. So, right, and it's roughly ½ an inch. Seeds go right on top. Then we'll figure out harvesting and planting. I'm testing right now anywhere between 1/2 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon. 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. FYI. Yeah. So these are the basic dimensions, and you put the system together first with the shelving. So that could be $50. The one I listed is under 50. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels. So you put that together first. Okay? And get one that's a little, you want your trays to hang off just a little bit. So if you're using the big boy trays, 2 foot by 2 foot by 6 inch, you can get a 24-inch shelving. If you're using the slim trays that are about 40 inches, you want to get a 24-inch wide shelf. So this is looking at it from the front. Let's look at it from the side and make it a little narrow here. Right, let's call it 18 inches wide. So then you put your, you put a 2-inch tray at the bottom. In there you put a 5-gallon bucket. Now nothing can spill. Then you put your 2 inchers all the way on each thing. Oh, I meant to make it from the side. So you want to hang them off a little bit. Okay, these are roughly 2 feet wide. And in each one, in the top one, you can put a 2-inch fitting. Bit of an extra one. You can either put a grommet or a, half hydroponic bulkhead fitting with the ridges, right? And they make them 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. They both go in the same hole. So FYI, the ring goes on this side, and then this side goes in, to there, and then this part spins tight. Spin it as tight as you can with your hands. Don't use a tool because that'll squeeze the O-ring, but spin it as tight as you can manage with your hands. And then out of the front of each one, so they're all flat in the bottom, you can make, depends how safe you want to be, at least one hole. You can make a backup hole always. That's the O-ring, and then the washer, and then the thing out. This has a threaded downspout in there, so you can add risers if you wanted to. You can put a screen on there. Don't worry about that. And then this, make sure it's 1/2 inch up. So from the pump is 1/2 inch poly tubing, hydroponic tubing, and then 3/4 inch down. This will come in handy for other things. You could do 1/2 inch down too. Actually, excuse me, for the little guys it has to be 1/2 inch, or it should be 1/2 inch. The little thin trays. Make sure you put a valve in there that you can adjust. So then this, you put in a little bit of tubing, and then you direct that down the middle of the next tube to the back. So this tray has this exit there, and then underneath its downspout is going to be directed like that. So the next tray catches it in the back, and then this can come again down like that. You can cascade it if you want, meaning it can go straight down, and then the downspout there. One way or the other, water has to go from one end of the tray to the other end. And then it comes back into your pump. That's it. Then you add your lights are these they're wafer thin, and you want to just align them on one side with the trays underneath. So from the side, it might look like this. And I use the twine. It's like the twisty ties for grocery stores. So they come in the hydroponic kits as a spool, 200 feet long. And you can just snip them really easily, hang everything. Everything is light, position and adjusted. You don't need to tie anything, you just bend them and it can hang. And you just want to make sure that they cover directly overhead your trays, or your, in most likely case, the Coca-Cola media. So the Coca-Cola sits every time, so you add 5 gallons in of water. Tap water is fine for microgreens. You can filter it, of course. You can knock the chlorine out, of course, but it's fine. And then plus, I'm doing 1 tablespoon per gallon of fertilizer. So this is per gallon, so it's really 5 gallons water plus 5 tablespoons all-purpose fertilizer. Mix it in, pour it in, done. You're good to go to grow microgreens, highly nutritious microgreens. That is the simplest way. Now obviously you don't have to do all 5 levels. You buy the shelf, it's only $40, but you can just set up part of it, have one system going. The nice thing about this method is you don't have to water. you water the system once a week and it takes care of the rest. On this side, expanding out what I've done successfully here, my next system is going to be 24-inch wide shelving. And this can grow just microgreens, shoots, sprouts, and grasses. This can, in theory, grow anything, but definitely more powerful. It can grow plants out further past their seedling stage. This is made for sprouting seedlings optimally. This would be to grow definitely through the leafy growth stage, vegetative stage. So I would have a 24-inch wide shelving, same thing. Five levels. I'd have 6-inch reservoir tray hanging off the end. This is gotta be bigger than 6 inches. Well, you wouldn't, yeah, in between the bars. And I'd have my fat 300 watt panels hanging overhead. These would all have bell siphons going down, and I'd have one pump going there. Maybe I should do that with red. Oops, getting carried away here. Okay, switch the throttle, bada bing, bada boom. I would direct, what should I use for that? Direct plant the things in there. That's it. Now, and if you wanted to, you could put, like I have in mine, a mesh bottom 10 by 20 flat with an insert in there for net pots, and now I could grow head plants throughout my system. Different fertilizer schedule, different lighting schedule. Obviously, this can be left on 24 hours a day if you want, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. It was more reasonable. Watered once a week. This one will need more maintenance and a lot more tweaking, so I'm not ready to commit to anything there. This one can crank out microgreens, herbs, and so I'm going to have I guess I kind of just did the course here. Flats, media, lights, trays, shelving, plumbing, pumps, tools. All you need are a knife to cut open boxes, sharp scissors, kitchen scissors or something else very sharp to cut poly tubing. The shelving goes together by hand, the lights are hung together by hand. The plumbing, a drill with the proper bit. So the challenge is different companies will produce slightly different width, and so I think 1 1/4 inch is what I used. But depending on whose bulkheads I use, Botanicare or someone else's Active Aqua, they had to be shaved a little bit. They were very tight. But just follow the instructions that they list on their page. And then you want to hang the lights as high as possible, get as much clearance so the beam is flat across the whole tray. And you can get growing. I mean, this thing takes an afternoon to put together, and gets growing, produces stuff in as little as a week. So super simple. This is the fertilizer I'm using, Jack's All-Purpose 20-20-20, very concentrated. Don't let this in your kids. For microgreens, there's no pH adjustment necessary, but you can get it if you want to go experimental. Of course, you can do that. And seeding is super simple. You put the media down in the wall, you get it wet, you lay your fiberglass on top of it, your fiberglass screening. You can direct sow if you want to spend the money, you don't want any problems. Or you can lay the screen down and sprinkle on top of that. cover for anywhere from 2 to 5 days. And harvesting, I have to figure out, but it's, I use an electric knife, 9-inch electric knife to shave everything off into a bucket, into a pan, and put in the fridge, store. They'll last you forever because they're healthy, nutritious, hearty microgreens compared to the sickly stuff you get at the grocery store. So that's it. Go to stack.farm. Parts list is there. It's always updated. This has been your free microgreen home pharmacy training course. Questions, comments, leave them below. Thanks, everybody.